Dr. Cam Calder.
I move the question be now put.
Kevin Haig.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the opportunity to make my first contribution in this debate on part one. There are several more specific points that I will be wanting to make later on in the debate, but I thought I'd begin, sir, by just reminding the House about these basic points that opinion polls consistently demonstrate that the vast majority of New Zealanders oppose the bill that the government has in front of the House tonight. And that, sir, is not only New Zealanders in general, but the majority of National Party supporters. So the claim of a mandate is tenuous at best. So I think 80% was the last opinion poll result that I saw of people opposed to this result. 98% of the submissions received by the Select Committee, and by now many signatures on the petition to over 80,000, I'm told, 80,000 signatures already on the petition to try and force a citizens-initiated referendum on it. Well, I think the Leader of the House makes an interesting point that the Green Party has invested in enabling New Zealanders have access to their democratic rights, and the small amount of money we have spent to ensure that occurs pales against the at least $120 million that the government is spending to promote that. I'd like to offer a more precise figure for the government spending to promote the asset sales agenda to New Zealanders. Sadly, I cannot, because the Minister repeatedly refused to answer the questions in the House today.
Propaganda. How much are you spending on propaganda, Jerry?
So the data, sir, that I've advanced for New Zealanders who oppose the asset sales agenda, government responds to those numbers by saying, well, look, we're the government, and therefore we have the mandate. And so that's kind of a logical flaw, isn't it? Because what government intends to do is to essentially use the election result and being the single, the party with, I concede, the more votes than any other party, as effectively a referendum on every single issue. Well, actually, that's not how it works. And that evidence from the opinion polls that say even the majority of those who voted for that party actually oppose their asset sales agenda gives the lie to their claim. So if we actually look, sir, at the reasons that people voted for that party, there are many different ones. So I want to come back to part one of the bill, sir, because I appreciate I'm speaking in quite a general way. I want to look at what the reasons are for those New Zealanders who oppose this agenda and oppose this bill. And so the first one that I hear again and again at public meetings up and down the country is that New Zealanders understand that what the government proposes here is economic nonsense. It's just stupidity. It is a move that, by the government's own account, will actually worsen its fiscal position by approaching $100 million a year. That's right, sir. It doesn't make any sense, does it? So I campaigned in the campaign last year with Chris Aukenvoll from the government, who tried to explain the government's economic thinking to audiences in this way. He said that as a former business person himself, that actually his practice was to get assets to a point of maturity where they were generating really good profits, and that was the right time to sell them off. Well, Mr. Chair, I've been in business myself, and that's kind of the polar reverse of the business strategy that I pursued. If I had assets generating good returns, as these are for the New Zealand taxpayer, actually selling them off is the very last thing that I'd want to do. I'd want to focus on the bottom line. How can I actually get the best return for the New Zealand taxpayer? And the best return, sir, is generated by retaining these assets. The New Zealanders also know that the hole that the government says it's trying to fill by this strategy, a strategy that in fact makes the hole deeper, is actually one of the government's own making as well, because it's a hole that's caused by the government's tax changes in 2009, where those wealthiest New Zealanders actually got tax cuts. Mr. Chair.
Michael Woodhouse.
I move the question be now put.
Chris Farford.